Nicole Watterson is the most normal character in the Amazing World of Gumball, and that's exactly why she shouldn't exist. In a universe ruled by emotional chaos, her discipline and control should fail. Yet Nicole doesn't just survive, she stabilizes everything around her. This isn't a story about a strict cartoon mom, it's about a hidden system, and the one character silently holding Elmore together. Elmore does not follow rules, at least not the ones we recognize. Time in Elmore is inconsistent. Characters age forward, backward, or not at all. In the others, entire versions of Gumball are discarded when they no longer fit the narrative. In the rerun, the show openly rewinds and reuses events. In The Void, characters and objects erased by continuity mistakes are dumped into a reality landfill and forgotten. Elmore openly admits it does not care about consistency, but Elmore is not random. It follows one rule with near-perfect consistency. Emotion overrides everything. In The Pressure, Gumball's anxiety literally compresses the environment. In The Limit, frustration escalates reality until characters break physically. In The Safety, fear causes the world to overcorrect itself into absurd protection mechanisms. When characters feel strongly enough, reality responds. Gumball survives because he feels too much. His emotional overreactions bend the world in his favor. Darwin evolves because he feels deeply. His empathy rewrites biology itself. Richard exists as pure entropy. His lack of emotional responsibility destabilizes every system he touches, from employment to gravity. Elmore rewards emotional intensity. It amplifies it, it needs it, which makes Nicole Watterson an anomaly. Because Nicole does not indulge her emotions, she suppresses them. In a world that bends for chaos, she imposes order. In a universe that resets consequences, she enforces them. In a system that escalates instability, she absorbs it, and that should not work. Nicole is everything Elmore should reject. Nicole is structured. She wakes up early. She holds a job across multiple industries. She enforces schedules. She maintains routines. She corrects behavior instead of indulging it. In The Job, Nicole cycles through dozens of professions, adapting flawlessly while the rest of Elmore collapses around her. In The Routine, her rigid schedule is portrayed as unnatural, but also the only thing preventing total household dysfunction. Every other character in Elmore survives by leaning into absurdity. Nicole survives by resisting it, and yet reality never punishes her for this. In fact, reality stabilizes around her. When Nicole is present, chaos becomes manageable. In The Parents, Gumball and Darwin only recognize consequences once Nicole asserts control. In The Authority, even external power structures defer to her competence. In The Safety, Nicole is the only character capable of identifying when protection becomes dangerous. Nicole acts as a limiter, not by force, but by containment. She doesn't erase chaos, she holds it. And this is where the paradox begins. Because Elmore does not reward suppression, it punishes it. Characters who deny their nature glitch, disappear, or break. In The Shell, Turtle retreats inward and is nearly erased. In The Copycats, artificial normality destabilizes the universe. In The Void, forgotten characters cease to exist entirely, but Nicole doesn't vanish. Instead, she becomes stronger. The pattern of suppression. Nicole doesn't process emotions the way other characters do. She doesn't explode immediately. She doesn't externalize frustration. She bottles it. In The Fury, years of suppressed anger erupt into a hyper-violent transformation that terrifies even the universe itself. In The Choices, her internal conflict is framed as physically painful. In The Limit, her patience is pushed until reality itself fractures. Episode after episode, Nicole absorbs emotional pressure that would shatter anyone else in Elmore. Financial stress, parental responsibility, workplace humiliation, constant exposure to chaos. And she keeps going. But Elmore keeps score. Every time Nicole suppresses too much, the show signals it, not with dialogue, but with escalation. Her emotional release is never casual. It is explosive. It is destructive. It warps reality around her. These moments are not jokes. They are system failures. Elmore can tolerate chaos. It cannot tolerate Nicole losing control. Because when Nicole breaks, the boundary disappears. Nicole as the emotional firewall. Watch what happens when Nicole is removed, distracted, or emotionally compromised. In The Disaster, her absence leads to unchecked escalation. In The Responsibility, Gumball collapses under pressure the moment Nicole stops managing outcomes. In The Rerun, Nicole is one of the only characters aware that repetition is dangerous. Scenes become louder, faster, more destructive. The visual language shifts toward excess. Background logic collapses more aggressively. Nicole doesn't just discipline her family, she regulates the emotional temperature of the show. She is the firewall between Elmore's chaos and total collapse. And here's the disturbing part. Nicole is never rewarded for this. She is not praised. She is not celebrated. Her sacrifices are invisible. In The Mothers, her competence is treated as obligation. In The Job, her adaptability is exploited. In The Routine, her structure is mocked, even as it saves everyone, which implies something important. Nicole isn't exceptional to Elmore. She is necessary to it. Why Elmore needs Nicole? Elmore thrives on emotional extremes, but extremes without boundaries lead to narrative implosion. Nicole provides contrast. Her normalcy gives chaos meaning. Her restraint makes emotional explosions visible. Without her, Elmore wouldn't feel absurd. It would feel exhausting and incoherent. She anchors the tone. And the show protects her, not emotionally, but structurally. Nicole never permanently changes. She never escapes responsibility. She never evolves beyond her role. Even when she tries, the narrative resets her. Because if Nicole were allowed to leave, emotionally or narratively, the system would destabilize. The paradox isn't that Nicole exists in Elmore. The paradox is that Elmore cannot exist without her. The cracks begin to show. But no system can suppress pressure forever. Nicole's containment comes at a cost. Every suppressed emotion adds strain. Every unacknowledged sacrifice builds load. And Elmore responds by escalating stakes whenever Nicole approaches her breaking point. When she snaps, she doesn't just yell. In The Fury, she becomes something the universe actively fears. Reality recoils. Characters scatter. The tone shifts from comedy to survival. These moments expose the truth. Nicole's restraint isn't healthy, it's structural. She isn't suppressing emotions for herself. She's suppressing them so the world can function. And the world exploits that. The core paradox reveal. Here is the real paradox of Nicole Watterson. Elmore is powered by chaos. Chaos requires boundaries to remain watchable. Nicole is that boundary. She is not immune to Elmore's rules. She is not stronger than the system. She is burdened by it. Nicole exists to absorb instability so everyone else can indulge in it. That's why she never gets a clean arc. That's why she never escapes responsibility. That's why her suffering is normalized. Because if Nicole were allowed to fully break, to process everything she's carrying, Elmore would lose its anchor. The show cannot let that happen. What this changes about the show. Once you see this, everything shifts. Nicole is no longer just the strict parent, she is the load-bearing wall of the narrative. Gumball becomes the catalyst. Darwin becomes the amplifier. Richard becomes the destabilizer. Nicole becomes the regulator. She doesn't thrive in Elmore. She sacrifices herself to stabilize it. And that is why her paradox changes everything. Because Nicole isn't failing to escape chaos. She's choosing to hold it together. Nicole Watterson doesn't survive Elmore by accident. She survives because Elmore needs her to. She isn't just part of the family, she's part of the system. So, the next time you watch The Amazing World of Gumball, don't just look for the jokes or the chaos. Watch Nicole. Watch what she absorbs. Watch what happens when she slips. And ask yourself what would happen if she ever stopped. If this breakdown changed how you see the show, like the video. Subscribe for more Cartoon Network paradoxes. And let me know in the comments which character you think is secretly holding their universe together. Because sometimes the most important character isn't the loudest one, it's the one keeping everything from breaking.